Welcome back to Math 107 College Algebra. In this video, we're going to take a look at division of polynomials. So what we're going to do is do the division problem. 2x cubed minus 7x squared plus 5 divided by x minus 3. We're actually going to work this problem two different ways. So the traditional way of doing division is the long division algorithm, which is very similar to what you probably saw in elementary school. So I'm going to set it up just like I set up a division problem in elementary school. I'm going to deliberately leave some space between the x squared, or minus 7x squared, and the plus 5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide the leading term of my one term. I have a leading term here. So 2x cubed divided by x is going to be 2x squared. Then I multiply by my divisor. And then I need to subtract. So I'll apply a negative sign there so that I can add rather than subtracting. So I'm left with a minus x squared, and I still have that plus 5 out there. So now I'll do the same thing. My leading term's a minus x squared. Dividing that by x, it gives me minus x. So I'll multiply. And again, we want to subtract in the end. So I do that, I end up getting minus 3x plus 5. So now dividing minus 3x by x, I get a minus 3. Multiplying that out gives me minus 3x plus 9. I want to convert it into subtraction. And I end up getting a negative 4. So that negative 4 is going to be our remainder. What we'll usually write stuff like this as, which seems counterintuitive with how we wrote the problem. So I'll do it elementary style for now and just put in R4. The way we're usually going to end up writing this is 2x cubed minus 7x squared plus 5 equals x minus 3 times 2x squared minus x minus 3. Close that parenthesis, and then I need to subtract 4. That should have been a remainder of negative 4, not a remainder of 4. So, that's the long division algorithm. But we're not going to get too worried about that. We're going to work the same problem again. This time, we're only going to worry about the important stuff with the division. So what I'm going to do is anytime we have a divisor of the form x minus c, we're going to put the c up in the corner. So remember, it's x minus c. So here it's x minus 3, we're going to divide by 3. If it was x plus 3, we'd put a negative 3 there. Then inside, I'm going to put the coefficients of the first term in the division. So we're going to put 2 minus 7. The 5, now we don't have an x term there. We need to account for that when we do synthetic division, so we're going to put a 0 in there. If I were to add 0x to the polynomial, it's not going to change anything, so we're okay there. So now I bring down the 2, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply the 2 here by that 3 I put out front. So that gives me a 6, and now the reason for me doing the minus c instead of the plus c is that I can add at this point. So I add, and I get a 1. So again, I'm going to multiply that 1 by the 3. I'm sorry, that's minus 1. I multiply the minus 1 by 3 and get a minus 3. Multiply that minus 3 by the 3 out front. Get a minus 9. Which will give me a minus 4. And now I read this in a similar fashion to what we did before. So I have 2x cubed, and this time I don't need parentheses. Minus 7x squared plus 5 equals, so my divisor, x minus 3, times my quotient, 2x squared minus x minus 3, and plus my remainder, which is minus 4. So the same answer we got before. I draw that vertical line there to separate the remainder from the quotient. And then other than that, we just read it in the same way. So the term next to the remainder is the constant, then the x, and then the x squared. If we had a bigger polynomial, we'd go on from there. So that's going to do it for this video. In class on Tuesday, we're going to take a look at some different things that remainder can tell us. So I will see you in class then.